And welcome to another edition of the Nerdy Agent Podcast. As I said to Mom when I called her last night, I said, hey, it's Luke from the future.
You know what you're missing with those, though? The dad strap.
I have it.
You have a dad strap.
So I bought one because I'm going to do... For those who don't know, these are the Meta Ray-Ban Gen 2 glasses, so they have a video camera on them, take photos. You can talk through them like AirPods. You can talk to them. But I have the strap because I'm going to do projects with them too. So
Do you need to have the little Ray-Ban logo on the top right of your right eye?
So I was wondering that. I don't know if it's a sticker.
Is it in your way?
No, I don't see it.
Oh, okay then.
I'm really worried about ruining the lens because I scratch glasses so much, so I don't want to touch it.
What is the lens, like what's in the lens?
It's just clear.
It is. It's nothing,
just like...
There's no technology.
Yeah, like remember when like 10 years ago the kids started wearing glasses to look cool, but they didn't have prescriptions? That's what it is. Yeah, but you can get prescription ones.
Interesting.
But I don't know, like Trent was asking about that, and I was like, I don't think these would be glasses you would wear all the time.
Maybe if you're a content creator, maybe that's what you do.
You're just always recording.
I guess. I don't know.
I'm not sure. We'll see.
How much can they store before you import it onto your phone? Like, can you just do
5-minute video?
That's it. And then you have to import it, and then it deletes it off the glasses, and then you do another one.
I would imagine that's how that works.
Interesting.
But you can have more than one 5-minute video on the imports at a time. You know what I'm saying?
Huh. So how many can you have? That's the
I
question.
have no idea. I'm not going to do 5 minutes because I'm going to do less than 3, hopefully. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But you'll cut it up. But welcome to the future. Nerdy Agent Podcast is here.
Here we go.
Today we're going to talk about the jobs report. Well, and I'm your host, Luke Pedersen, with my brother, fellow nerd, AJ. Josh is not here today. He's out. But today we're going to do it.
Kids don't have school for no reason.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that's so weird.
They just don't have school for no reason.
Or yesterday, too.
Yesterday as well.
That's so funny.
But Daphne had school yesterday.
Because she's not at the school, though. She's in
We were
preschool.
like, why are they in the same school district? It's kind of silly.
Daphne's not in the Minnetonka.
No, but she goes to school within the district.
Sure, yeah, I get what you're saying.
But anyway, the jobs report.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about the jobs report just because there's been a lot of layoffs going on.
Or should we say lack thereof?
Lack thereof jobs report. Well, we're not going to talk about the jobs report. We're going to talk about jobs in general and what that might mean for you as an agent. What you need to know about it, because I'd imagine you're going to get questions. And you might even have clients that work at some of these companies. So just to start, can you give like the hitter of the layoffs that happened?
Yeah, I mean, there's some large corporate layoffs happening at several companies here locally in Minnesota. Amazon, I believe, just announced, I want to say it was 30,000 that they're going to be doing.
To be
laid off.
Yep.
Target was, I believe, 1,800 jobs, which was roughly 12% or 8%.
And it was the highest one, the biggest one since the oldest nerd, Josh, was at Target.
Correct. In 2015. They're doing, I mean, we talked about that. I think that, they got a little over bloated, which companies do when rates are low. And they're consolidating several departments to make it a little bit more efficient, I think. But the big one, I mean, today would have been the jobs report for October. As if anybody listens to this podcast often, you would know that oftentimes the estimates do not match the actual numbers. But there was an estimate still.
Okay.
By the economists or by Dow Jones.
In case the government came back.
Well, they're just estimating. This is probably what they would have said if they would have
okay, yep.
And they expected it would have shown a decline of 60,000 jobs in the month of October, which would bring the unemployment rate to 4.5%.
And what was the secondary market expecting?
That's the expexptation.
That was the expectation.
Yeah, but there's no report, so we don't know what the actual number was. We just have the expectation number.
Sure.
Said, the Chicago Fed, they did their own data indicators. They said they would have seen the the unemployment rate edging towards 4.4%.
So lower than 4 or 5.
Exactly.
Has that affected anything in the market so far this morning?
Or yesterday. The estimates were out, I think, already. But the stock market is off this morning by quite a bit. Consumer sentiment has neared its lowest level ever. Mm-hmm. That's low.
That makes sense.
As worries build over shutdown. So, I mean, stocks don't react favorably when we think they're going to lose lots of jobs, and and the sentiment's very, very bad. Unemployment, I believe the Fed's two targets are the 2% number we talk about often. We don't often talk about the unemployment rate. I believe full employment is 4.0. So we are over that number now, which means more people are unemployed than the Fed would like, but the inflation is still high. And this is the concern, because this is the exact economy that persisted through the entire 1980s.
High unemployment, but still inflation. How does that happen?
It's a great question. I think there is some explanation for it. It's called stagflation. And it happens when...
I mean, we could do something kind of fun here.
What's that?
Hey, Meta. What's stagflation?
Stagflation is a rare economic scenario characterized by the combination of high inflation, slow economic growth, and elevated unemployment.
They gave you the definition you just gave me.
There, nice.
High unemployment and high inflation. But it doesn't have. That's about it.
And I think I've read a few things that this is the kind of economy where the haves and have-nots start to spread out. So you end up with the lower income people. I mean, we just saw like they're trying to get SNAP benefits back so people can actually get their groceries. Those kinds of people are now not spending on things outside of what they need, and the haves that are the higher tiers of wealth and income are spending more than they were before.
You would think that a lot of the inflation is likely due to the weird thing is you were seeing, that's a weird combo that we saw inflation because rates were low, people were spending money, people had jobs, and now people are losing their jobs, but you had this, like, as that was happening, AI just started exploding. Like, it feels like we were coding stuff on Replit, 3 months ago? And in the last 3 months, it feels like there's been 1,000 companies in the real estate world that have been created that are trying to get business, like lead gen, CRM stuff. And so people are spending, that type of person, that business, or the high end, like you're saying, are spending money on AI, which is probably propping that inflation number up, you would think, quite a bit.
It might be. I mean, it also might just be that the people that make more money and have more money are spending more than they were previously, which is driving the inflation.
But what would they be? Why would they be spending more than previously?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
And so the Fed's worried about that. What is the Fed? They're planning on cutting the overnight rate again when they meet.
Well, the issue is when stagflation happens. The Fed's main thing that they control is the overnight rate, right? Which is the rate by which banks lend to each other and the Fed lends to other banks, and the money moves around at an overnight rate, which is currently, I believe, 3.5 to 3.75 or 3.75 to 4 or something like that. And the only way to curb inflation is to keep the rates higher. The only way to fix unemployment is to have the rates go lower. And so they have to thread the needle, and so what they're going to do is what it seems like, and this is why you saw the 10-year Treasury yield go up in the last couple of weeks, is at the Fed meeting, they cut the rate, but then they said, don't just expect another rate cut next time, because we have to be careful, because if we cut the rates down to increase the employment, now inflation might just go nuts.
And inflation is this is kind of probably similar to like the buyers and the sellers in a marketplace, where if you cut the rates, inflation is going to go up disproportionately to employment because they can't just hire people super fast.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, those are the two things that do happen. But yes, it may be an early on shock to that kind of system for the people that already do have jobs. I mean, I saw one come out yesterday. This is an interesting bill that kind of relates to all of this. A Republican and a Democrat got together, I believe, in the Senate.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, it's something. And they proposed that credit card companies cap their interest rates at 10%.
I think that's fair.
The problem, though, is when you look at the downstream effects of that. So what ends up happening when they cut it to 10%, right? They probably don't offer credit to a ton of people. So those people that are constantly in debt, trying to catch up on their credit cards, now just don't have access to the monetary supply that they would need to just run their family, because they cannot go in debt to operate. And I think a ton of our country probably falls in that boat. So then what do you do for those
what's
people?
the current credit card debt in the United States? It's massive.
It's got to be
it's the most it's ever been.
It's got to be absolutely insane. But yeah, I mean,
because their algorithm would say, well, it doesn't make sense to lend to this person unless the rate's 15, because their chance of paying it back is lower.
Exactly. It's kind of like when Minneapolis, we talked about Jim Rubin, when they said you can no longer charge more than 1 month's security deposit. And everyone cheered that on and said, this is great. This is good for consumers. And it's like, yes, if you look at it on its face, it is. But it does not force the landlords to rent to the people that they normally would have rented to at 2 months security deposit.
Yeah.
So Jim Rubin kind of correctly predicted, like, you're probably going to have more people that can't find housing.
They're denied.
Because they got denied because they don't fit the credit profile of what they need to be, and they try to introduce more rules to kind of make that more difficult, but these landlords are running businesses. So as long as they're operating within the laws and the ordinances.
You almost would need to pair a bill like that with some sort of a offset of the fair insurance plan. How everybody is required to have the opportunity to get house insurance, homeowners insurance. So they have the Minnesota Fair government
Yeah, they
back,
give them a credit
and all
card
of
plan.
all of the insurance people pay into that as like part of their pay-in to be included.
So the credit companies would have to pay in, you think?
And then there'd be like a government credit card.
I wonder. I mean,
That would make sense.
But is that going to be efficient and it will be run correctly? And how is it all going to operate? What if you're in debt with the federal government like you are in student loans? Are they going to try and cancel that debt for those credit cards? Or are there going to be people shouting from the rooftops, right? So we've created this difficult web of debt, inflation, this monetary movement that
spiral.
we have, and it's really tough to fix. Guess how much debt?
No, 500 billion.
$1.23 trillion
Yeah.
of credit card debt. That means the average debt per American household, guess what that number is? $9,000
Jeez.
of average debt per household. This
Is that
not,
and that's not tracking if I use my credit card and pay it off before I pay interest. That's
No,
only
no,
the
no.
people paying interest on credit card bills they haven't fully paid
guess
off.
what the percentage of people that carry a balance on their credit card from month to month is?
50?
46%.
Oh man.
So, you look at a lot of these things that are going on and they're trying to fix a multitude of problems. And it's the kind of stuff that starts to happen when people start getting worried that the economy is not where it needs to be. And, in the 1980s, what happened is, and this is, it has a, lot of similarities, right? Because right now we have Middle Eastern conflict. We have Russian and Ukrainian conflict. What are those areas are they both very rich in?
Oil.
Oil.
That's why we're involved. I was trying to explain that to people. It's like, we're going over there because we want the oil.
We want the oil.
We need peace for oil.
We need peace for oil. Well,
unless we start drilling for
in
it.
1979, the Iranian Revolution made oil prices rise sharply, and that pushed already high rates of inflation into several major advanced companies to new double-digit highs.
It's because so many people are using oil that if oil goes up, it disproportionately affects inflation probably.
Oil is a wild thing. I watched. It's funny. I was going to there and back to Vegas, and I went to Miami, so I was on Delta for both flights. So I had the in-flight entertainment.
Go.
It's fantastic. I watched the show Landman. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a show about an oil drilling company in Texas, Midland, Texas. It's a fictional story, but it's what goes on in Texas when they drill for oil. It's all about how they get the leases and drill and whatever, right? And there was a line in the show that I wish I could remember exactly what it said. But everybody, what do they think of when they think of oil? What does oil give us?
Gas.
Gasoline. Do you know what else oil gives us? Pretty much everything.
Energy.
Well, yes, but it's in products across so many different things. I mean, I could look these up right now, but oil is not just refined into gasoline for our cars. It's in petroleum. It's the
most important.
The Vaseline you put on your lips, oil.
Really?
It's all oil.
I have dry lips. I had a bunch of Vaseline on this morning.
That's what I'm saying.
My lips are so dry.
Right?
You know what? The other one that's interesting. So you have that, and that reminds me, and that we're super off topic here, but the TSMC, the Taiwan semiconductor factory.
Oh gosh, that whole thing is crazy too.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They produce so do you know what a semiconductor is? I just learned this from ChatGPT. Semiconductor is a type of material that they make these chips out of. So it's little tiny, like semiconductors, like the wires that connect everything in these chips.
And so it's 100% required in order to make a chip.
Oh yeah, there's no other material. They create every single NVIDIA chip in the entire world. This factory.
It's insane.
And so if anything happened to that factory, it would be like,
I feel like, didn't NVIDIA announce that they were bringing some of that back to the United States?
the United States is trying very hard to create semiconductors right now.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's in all the phones, all the computers, probably the TVs.
But this is not the stuff that people think about. Like, you don't, you're like, I just went on Amazon and we ordered
I
a
got
television for our closing room. Here it is. It's
Yeah.
like, well, it was in, parts of that TV were all over the world, probably.
Everywhere.
Right? I just looked up what has oil in it. Plastics for bottles, packaging, and containers. Synthetic rubber for tires, hoses, and other products.
Huh.
Synthetic fibers used in clothing, such as nylon and polyester. Inks, paints, coatings, adhesives, sealants. Household products, cosmetics, lipstick, mascara, petroleum jelly. Personal care items like soap, shampoo.
And there's no
toothpaste.
replacement for it?
Laundry detergents, candles, diapers and pacifiers, footwear, asphalt and tar for roads, roof shingles, linoleum flooring, paint.
Oh my gosh.
That's why oil is so important. And so everybody
Wow.
is like, what's the cost of a barrel of oil? And everybody's like, well, it's just your car that you're using oil for. And it's like, well, no,
It's literally everything.
the cost of everything goes up when oil
Yeah.
goes up. And so that's why you're right. We're fighting this war because if we have that happen, we currently have inflation running at 3%. If oil doubles, the barrel goes up by double.
Everything gets expensive.
We'll be at 3.5
not
to
just
4,
gas, it's
and
all the other
it's a
products,
reason
too.
why I'm pretty sure the core inflation number excludes oil and food
That makes sense.
because they're very volatile numbers.
That makes sense.
And they do impact a multitude of
The thing that's
products.
super interesting too is like even electricity, until they can switch everything over to solar, a lot of electricity is being created from gas.
from gas.
And so it's like you don't just
Natural
like get electricity, you get oil into that's natural gas that they're drilling for too, maybe.
They're drilling for natural
They're
gas.
drilling for natural gas too.
Well, you look at like this whole conflict in Russia. They were worried that Germany was going to be cut off from having heat last winter
That would be really bad.
because they supply over half of the natural gas to Germany.
and if Germany doesn't like agree with them or something, they'll
That's
just
what
cut
I'm
it off.
So you think about all the things that are going on. I think this is on topic to wrap it back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the United States government and the military, or whatever you want to call it, is trying to control those things from happening at the same time that the feds over here are trying to control these things from happening on our domestic soil, right? And so it's a touchy type thing because one thing could make it really go.
Yeah, and I bet they're super excited about the fact that in the last 6 months, it's been determined that we're back in the internet, 1998, 1999, but AI. Just throw that right into the mix.
.com, boom.
And everybody's paying everybody. NVIDIA's paying Google. Google's paying. They're all just shuffling money everywhere, and they're hitting these trillion-dollar valuations. It's gonna be really interesting to see what happens.
Do you want me to give you one last story here?
Yeah.
So I sold a house in our neighborhood last week. And
Was that the one by the Deloriers? That closed? Or that was a while ago?
No. It's
Different one.
It's on the cul-de-sac. But I went and I showed it, and I forgot to ask the listing agent, why there was a super old-looking generator next to the panel. And I didn't even see the box outside for the generator, but I was like, it's weird they have a generator in this house. Like, we lose power, but it's not like that often.
No, it's been more lately.
It's been more lately. And some houses have gotten them, but this one looked really old. So I asked the agent, and you know what she said to me? She said they got that for Y2K.
No way.
They were worried. It's never been run. They were worried they weren't going to have power, so they got a generator.
Well, because it was gonna once you were hit 2,000, the computers were gonna
They're
break.
going to explode. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going to happen now, I wonder?
I have no idea. Everything's gonna change in 3 months. The one thing that you can do that we're gonna do some AI training with the team because I have some stuff I want to talk to them about. The one thing that it can't replace is current human relationships and the knowledge that you have when you're inside a house. Like, it's not really able to like go inside a house and teach people about them. So the one thing you can start using that for is for knowledge.
And you know what?
growing your
what it
relationships
also
too.
has not been great at. I think that we've learned, and you've said it hallucinates, right?
Hallucinates
because
the term.
it wants to tell you what
An
you
answer.
want to hear.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if you're a real estate agent watching this, you're working with buyers or sellers. You have to say things that your clients don't want to
wanna
hear.
hear.
You have to say, sorry, I know you don't want to hear this. I'm going to be honest with you, but the buyer's backing out on the inspection. You have to say these kinds of things where the AI right now would
Currently.
be like, well, I don't know, maybe we'll keep it together when they already got the cancellation.
I wonder.
sent
I
to
don't
it,
know
right?
how that would work.
So, so you can't do that. You got to be
Yeah.
honest, and it's not always honest.
Yeah, the one thing that is true, and I think we absolutely 100%, I would hang my hat on this, is it's going to be included in every facet of life in the next 5 years, and so it's time to get on board to figure out how you can include it.
Exactly.
But I did have a funny joke though. I was on Twitter X this morning, and it said someone tweeted and said, AI, ChatGPT, is this berry poisonous? And it said, no, absolutely not. That's totally safe. And it said, me, ChatGPT, I'm now in the hospital because that was a poisonous berry. And then it goes, oh yeah, my bad. That berry was poisonous. Do you want 10 other options that are also poisonous? Because it just tells you what you want to hear. That's all we have for the Nerdy Agent Podcast. And as always, remember, be better.